Hi, everyone. My name is Erin Farrell Talbot. I'm the founder of Farrell Talbot Consulting, a PR firm. And today I have the pleasure of being here with the CEO of TruTrace Technologies, Robert Galarza, and the VP of Marketing Cannabis from Applied DNA Sciences, John Shearman. Hey, guys, how are you today?
Hey, Erin, how are you?
Hey, Erin, how are you? Fantastic to be here today.
Awesome. From sunny California. Robert's in California and John is in New York.
Yes, so, the tundra of New York today.
Yeah,
cold and it's giving us a Seattle day of California. It's pouring rain down here. It's kind of out of character, but it's fun nonetheless.
Awesome. Well, we got some good stuff to talk about today. First of all, congratulations on the partnership. The synergies look great for both companies. So I want to dive into this. There's lots of good stuff to talk about. I'm going to start with you, Robert. When did you guys start talking about the partnership?
You know, interestingly enough, when we were first developing our company about 2.5 years ago, we got introduced to a company that was doing business with Applied back then, in the early stages of understanding what tagging could be. So really kind of piqued up our interest and intrigue of wow, that's really goes down the thesis of what we were looking to design, which was, you know, genetic registration and genome to sale as our framework for traceability. And then as we deployed our technology, we got introduced to John and the team, and really just saw a great fit. You know, synergetically understanding when companies are pushing the envelope for technology and innovation. It's great when you can come together. It's also great when you can see the areas where there is very little crossover. There's, you know, obviously we've all got clients and we've all got technologies, but when they meld really well together in serving the needs of the customer, it's just been perfect. And then since then, we've really gotten our teams together, and it's been great.
Yeah, it's great. John, I'm going to go to you next. Tell me what you see are the benefits of integrating the two platforms together.
Yeah, so we're, like Robert was saying, we really started chatting about this like 6 months ago, coming right after all the work that was going on in 2020 and resetting from 2019. And we saw, and part of our strategy was to go out and get partnerships and put in place. And Robert's company was the perfect opportunity to do that. So by bringing the both systems together and platforms, it really allows us to bring a true complete solution all the way from the actual seedlings, you know, strain of the actual plant to the manufacturers, to the processors, and ultimately to the dispensary, where the consumers will see this whole chain of custody happening. And the beauty of that is both of our systems coming together to allow the B2B part of it and the B2C portion of it.
That's awesome. You talk about something, John, called certainty. Can you talk to us a little bit about what that is and define that?
Sure. So this, we call our platform certainty with a capital T, not a TY. And the reason we do that is that we use molecular technology, and that unique identifier that we create for a brand or a product gets applied first by tagging it to the actual plant, the oil or isolate, and any of the byproducts that go forward. And then you test it in every node it goes through the supply chain. And then the third T is for tracking it. It gets pushed into a secure cloud database. And then we take all that information, you have a secure infrastructure now, and then you can tie that back into Robert's system. So it's a great way to be able to track it from seed to all the way to shelf.
I love that. It's a great way to remember what it is that you're actually doing.
Yes.
Really creative. Robert, tell me, from a go-to-market strategy, who will you approach with the offering?
You know, for our initial deployment in the cannabis sector, we were focused specifically on meeting the needs of the medical industry, right? There's a really unique recreational space that we're seeing open up. It's still very early, and medicine is critically important for us to tackle the aspect of certainty, right, of the products, and reliability and consistency and standardization for those patients because of the efficacy and the counterindications. So we actually were very fortunate enough to work with Shoppers Drug Mart, which is Canada's largest pharmacy chain, on an initiative back in 2019 into 2020 into 2021, and we just did a deployment. Actually, no, wow, it was 2019 to 2020. Sorry, my this whole year just blew by. I'm like for many of us, right? So we launched a program with Shoppers and University Health Network to support traceability for a real-world evidence study of cannabis products for patients. And I think that's a really good area for us to bring this technology in, where it's so critical to be able to have that traceability and that verification of those products down to the patient level.
Yeah. You talk about the medical side of it. How does it help state governments sort out the strategies for medical versus recreational programs?
Yeah, we know from our perspective, and I know I'll probably get John to echo this. This is it hits the mark on twofold. Number one, it tackles the aspect of reliability and consistency of product direct to patients, which is critically important. But the other area that we have wanted to tackle, and I know all the regulatory bodies and the legislatures, they always push this as a part of their agenda, is preventing diversion and inversion, right? Preventing black market product from entering in or leaving the sector. And it's really difficult to do, even with our technology, where we're managing all of the aspects of the supply chain and connectivity and laboratory testing data, batch lot specificity. We still don't have that last touch point if there's a bad actor doing bad things, right? You can always manipulate a system. With this technology, that manipulation becomes incredibly difficult, if not impossible, because you can always test that finished product for the traceability and reliability.
Yeah, John, your thoughts on that too? If you
and you have the regulations, you have the compliance, you have counterfeiting, diversion, what Robert was talking about. I always see it as a pyramid. And how much security do you want to build up in that pyramid to be able to protect all those different things? There's a lot of spinning plates going on at any given time, and everyone's trying to figure it out. So we have the early states, they went through their pains of getting to where it is. The other new states that are all coming on, we're learning from that. So it's a building block, right, approach that you have to take. You have to put technology around it. You have to put process around it, standard operating procedures. So you need systems like what we're putting together with Robert and his team to help manage this. It's not an easy thing. And you need to have an ecosystem of all these technologies and partnerships coming together to put the best of class out there. And so now, then you take it a step further. So now that's a domestic market. Now you open it up for international trade. And now you have border patrols and protection like that. Where's the origin of this product coming from? And that's where the tagging of having a physical tag on comes into play here. So I know it's coming out of Colorado, California, or New York, for instance, and then plugging all that information into Robert and his platform, and then it could go into seed to sale platforms and other systems as well. We got lab information systems. So you have to tie all these pieces together, and we're learning how to do that. One good thing with the cannabis, there's not a lot of legacy systems, right? Because when the cannabis was coming up and we're building this technology, everyone was using the best of breed, which is great. So you can get lockstep around. I know Aaron and you and I come out of technologies from the past and companies that we worked with in the past that have legacy systems 40 years old off of mainframes. That's tough to get that data. So now, with the new blockchain and all the things, we're bringing all that together in a cohesive ecosystem of platforms. And it's going to take a while, but we're going to get there. And I think the relationship that we're putting together with Robert will be a big step forward.
Yeah, this is definitely an awesome way to kick off 2021 with this relationship and partnership. And it's going to be an exciting year too. I mean, we all feel it around cannabis with this emerging market that's just exploding now. So talk to me a little bit about 2021, what you see, what your predictions might be for the next year. Robert, I'll turn it over to you first with that question.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see in the cannabis sector specifically is you're going to see a bit of a maturity, right? We always like to say the first couple of years of the industry in Canada were a bit of a growing pains, some learning curves. I think out of that, what we quickly realized is the standards and practices, good manufacturing protocols, all of the components related to traceability and reliability of product is so critically important. That was number one. I think number two is as these states and as the federal government in the US really starts to dial in on what its legal framework is going to look like, we're going to see the rules get shaped here and globally as well. And what the news we've heard down in Mexico, as we're seeing, even places like China, where you're seeing more CBD specific production take place. Obviously, it's not THC specific, but it is a cannabinoid, and it's a huge mark for a country that's it's still against THC moving off Schedule 1. Really, I think we're going to start to see this move towards building the rules of the road, right? And that lends a really unique opportunity for us to come in and be a part of a standard and practice for connecting our systems and then communicating with the industry and the industry players to say, hey guys, you want to take this this nuanced cannabis industry that kind of lives outside of medicine and food and everything else. We're going to help bridge the connectivity for transparency to get you back into the requirements that the big box retailers require, that the doctors require, that the regulatory bodies require in these new jurisdictions coming online. So I think we're going to see a lot of that in 2020. The sentimentality in the marketplace, I can tell you, has changed dramatically since the election, both in the US and up in Canada as well. And I think that renewed sense of optimism also allows us to get excited, but then also go, okay, let's look back at what we've done the past couple of years and learn from our mistakes, learn from the challenges, and really move forward with a stronger roadmap going into this next year.
Yeah, that's a really good point. With a new administration, it gives renewed excitement looking at the industry. John, what do you think for 2021?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think 2020 was a reset year. I think we're getting the tables set. So I think the plates are all around it. People are ready to sit down in a chair and get business going again in 2021. I think a lot of companies are going to look at their brand also. So we just talked a lot about the technology infrastructure, but now once the regulations, hopefully they're going to move forward. I think the positive energies in the marketplace right now, people are going to have to spend time on their brand. What's it mean? What's the brand promise mean? How do I get that out? Make sure my products are safe, they're of high quality, they're meeting my brand promise to bring to the marketplace. So you're gonna have to tie the technology to that to make sure you have that transparency, traceability, and trust with that end customer. So I think by building all of that together, I think companies will be able to get that brand out there, have strong representation in the marketplace, and then also get ready for an international market to open up.
Mm-hmm. Great. That's great, guys. I'm so excited for the year. There's lots of hope, and it's really awesome. Is looking at where we are going with this, and looking at the end of 2020 with what happened and sort of that green wave. So I'm excited to see what 2021 brings us.
Yeah, no, it's great, Aaron, and working with Robert and his team over the last year, it's been great, and we're very excited to bring this platform out to the marketplace, and good things are going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. So all the best to you both. This will be an
exciting
year.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. Thank you, Robert.
There we go. Thank you, John. We'll get back to work next week very soon, my friend.
Likewise. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.